The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
But thank you all for joining us. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Do you have a hankering for horror knowledge?
We have such sights to show you.
Do you require raging retro reviews? Do you desire discussions with devastatingly dashing dorks?
2 out of 3, baby.
The Dorkening Podcast Network has nearly 30 shows to satisfy all of your nerdy, geeky, and dorky needs. From horror reviews and celebrity interviews.
Hi, I'm Adam Green, the director of the Hatchet films and the star of Coulson.
Hi, this is Dominic Pace, who played the bounty hunter Gecko from The Mandalorian.
Hi, I'm Mike Price. I'm a writer on The Simpsons. I co-created F is for Family.
Hi, guys. This is Dee Wallace from E.T. and Cujo.
Hi, my name is Kurando Mitsutake, director of Gun Woman and Karate Kill.
Hi, this is Samantha Newark, the voice of Jem and Jerrica from the original Jem and the Holograms cartoon series.
As well as nostalgic trips into the past, pop culture, the latest in entertainment news, and so much more. Featuring a variety of shows and hosts that will simultaneously enrage, enlighten, and entertain you. Check out the Dorkening Podcast Network.
My mom says I'm cool.
Available on iTunes, Spotify, thedorkening.com, and wherever fine podcasts can be found.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for, and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Sorry, that helps. Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still Toking with. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We got a kick-ass show for you, scheduled as always. And yeah, I see you chuckling there, Ben.
You hit the wrong button.
No, I didn't hit the wrong button. I put my mic on mute so I could drink coffee.
You had one job, man. One job.
You hit the wrong button. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm bet you that keyboard over there is just one big button and then like 2 little buttons on the side, and he's like just always on those 2 side buttons.
Yeah,
the big one in the middle.
It's a 50-50 shot, and he misses it both times.
Yeah, I try.
But no, you're right. We have a killer show here tonight. We have 2 amazing guests instead of 1. I have an amazing co-host, Jar Jar.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me tonight, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
You know,
this is fantastic.
So
I tried to get out of it, but it just didn't work.
Well, yeah, but next time you got to crash the car harder.
Yeah.
Or make the surgery take longer or something. Anything. So, Yeah, I don't even know how to do this tonight, Leo, because Jeff always introduces the guest. So I think it's going to have to be you.
Really?
Or Jar Jar. I mean, that's not my job. I'm supposed to sit here and look good.
Well, okay, fine.
That's all I do.
Jar Jar, would you like to do the honors, sir?
Oh, absolutely. Why not? Tonight, we are honored to have the cast, two of the cast from the amazing award-winning movie Bite Me, Naomi McDougall-Jones and Christian Coulson, and Naomi's like a writer, producer, the million actor, like everything. I don't think there's anything Naomi hasn't done, and Christian, well, he does some acting and stuff, I guess. He went to Hogwarts.
Supposedly. So, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So that was a good intro, Jaja. I like that.
Yeah.
I really, if it wasn't for the car accident, I would have had a better intro for Christian, but I got in halfway through all my research and I went for a drive.
I'll pepper in information about how amazing Christian is throughout the show to balance.
That's great. Well, he is a great actor. I know that, especially just from watching Bite Me. That amazing.
Right.
Now, Bite Me, it's out on VOD right now, correct?
Yep, it's on iTunes and Amazon and Google Play.
Awesome. I watched it as well. Friggin' amazing. I absolutely loved it. Links in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, to check it out. And like Naomi said, it's available on iTunes, Amazon, just about everywhere you get your movies. Yeah. And there's
silence. And there's silence. Wow. I
think it deserves a pause.
I was actually watching Christian's face. He's like, what the hell did I get myself into with these guys?
No, not at all. I was thinking, I'm so glad Naomi knows that, because I'm so bad with information. It like goes in one ear and out the other. So I think a pause is necessary for people to take it in.
Totally.
And I was pausing so that everyone could click on it and go buy our movie.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right.
Well, speaking about buying the movie, we do have the trailer. I'd like to run that. But either Christian or Naomi, would you like to give a brief synopsis of Bite Me?
Sure. Bite Me is a subversive romantic comedy about a real-life vampire and the IRS agent who audits her.
Okay, here we go.
My name is Sarah Woods. I belong to the House of Twilight. We are a collective of independent vampires.
Sorry, what?
We're not supernatural, obviously. We have been under investigation by the IRS, and we have just received a ruling that we are not a legitimate church.
Independent vampires. Can you tell me what that is?
We need to feed on energy to stay healthy.
And how?
We drink blood.
Ooh.
Who are you?
My job is really boring. Ulysses is my favorite book. I like The Bachelor. It's my favorite TV show.
You're kind of a weirdo.
Many real vampires hide their darker natures from people at their jobs.
What is your job?
I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Of course you are.
I thought that maybe you liked me, which was stupid, obviously.
I do like you.
No, you don't.
That first night, it was so real. It was like I knew something about you, about us.
I only just met you.
I know, I wasn't gonna say anything because I didn't want to sound like some lunatic stalker person. You know what? I don't care. I want to be your lunatic stalker person.
You don't date for 8 years. We have to go. And now you're making eyes at that guy? Is there a woman in your bedroom?
We had sex. Do you know how much trouble I could get into? You have no idea what it is like to have people stare at me from the second I leave my house.
Maybe they're staring at you because you are yelling in the middle of the sidewalk. Hello.
You think that this isn't going to go the same way it always goes?
No, I don't. You make me want everything I thought I was better than.
Sarah!
So you want to go out with me, but I have to be a secret?
No. Because you just, until your audit case is closed, you just...
And after the audit's over?
And you just met you.
Fine.
Wait, you're not going to bite me, are you?
We don't bite. It's not sanitary.
That's right then.
we go. Bite Me is available on VOD right now. Is it getting a physical release as well? Because a lot of people that watch us, love physical media.
Yeah, you can buy DVDs or Blu-rays on our website, which is just bitemetofilm.com.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know, Ben, you had a couple questions there, but I just wanted to also mention, I know, Jar Jar, you didn't give Christian his due, but we didn't mention Christian is also known as the young Voldemort, Tom Riddle in Harry Potter.
I said he was at Hogwarts.
He
They
alluded
all
to it.
know.
This is why I said I just sit here and look pretty.
I ran into my girlfriend when I found out, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to be talking to Tom Riddle." I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I'm a geek of everything, really. But yeah, whoa, got stuff in lint falling from the ceiling.
So yeah, okay.
So should I start asking questions, or
Go
do you
ahead.
want to, Ben?
No,
Because
go ahead.
I got a million. But
I know you do. I see you itching.
yeah. First, Christian, one thing I can say, dude, your voice is so sweet. You could say the meanest thing to me, and I would just be like, "Aw, that was nice."
I wish that worked in all areas of my life. I do audiobooks, so.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's fantastic. I did get a little research done, a little bit.
Nice.
But Naomi, you wrote, directed, and produced and starred, right?
I didn't direct. I wrote.
Oh, you
and
didn't
produced
direct.
and acted.
Okay.
3 is enough to be on with.
Where the idea to use actual real vampires instead of the normal, not to say the other vampires aren't real, but to use the people that are actually out there that have this belief of vampirism.
Yeah, well, the whole seed of the idea came because one day I was acting on the set of Boardwalk Empire, and it was a very long shoot day, and there were a lot of extras around, and I got to chatting with great show. I got to chatting with one of the extras, and over the course of this 16-hour shoot day, she revealed to me that she identifies as a vampire.
Nice.
And I was like, what? I'm sorry. And she explained to me that she's part of this actual global community of people who identify as vampires. They don't think they're supernatural. They don't believe they're going to live forever, but they believe they need to feed on blood to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I went home and fell down the internet rabbit hole. And vampires, I think, have a higher than average percentage of vlogs. So I watched a lot of vampire vlogs and just became so fascinated by this community, and also kind of inspired by them in a funny way, I think, because that's a very bold identity. That's a very bold identity to live out, and
for real,
choose not to live out. Yeah.
Even sitting there at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, oh my god, these people think they're real vampires, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be one of those movies. And by the end, I'm like, wow, that was really good, and I almost identified the vampires to it's kind of like the LGBT community, it's or another minority community. It's just these people that are out there living their lives, not hurting anybody, doing their thing, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you bring up a great thing in the movie, talking about the other religions, and I think it was a totally unique story about it's because they are a church and everything, but getting audited by the IRS. But then bringing up, you have these other churches out there.
3 people live in the church. That was great. I'm starting a church next week. Damn it.
Right. We don't want to give away too much because we still want people to go buy it.
No. I was just gonna say, thinking about vampirism, and thinking about other cults and everything, like you mentioned, like Scientology and everything, is they're just living their lives when there's actual cults and churches that are murdering people. It's just absolutely insane.
I just love the name of it. Bite Me. I mean,
it's a fun movie.
I've been saying that for 25 years. I even had a shirt that said "Bite Me" with a shark on it at one point, and then I saw this. I was like, "Yes, absolutely."
I love hearing the 3 of you react to the movie. It's so, because one of the great joys of this movie has been hearing or speaking to people who've had these responses, this like effusive sort of excitement about talking about it. It's really thrilling.
Well,
it was a really fun movie.
Yeah.
Like as I was trying to say before Ben interrupted me earlier and told me to save it for the show, or Leo told me to save it for the show. Somebody
that's
told
my
me.
job, you know.
I was lying in bed watching it with headphones, and my girlfriend was trying to sleep next to me, and I was just giggling the whole time. Like she's like, I couldn't tell if it was because it was so absurd or if you actually liked it until about 10 minutes in and you're still watching and giggling. I was just like, it was really, really fun. I actually want to sit her down and watch it with her. It was like that good. I'd rewatch it.
Right. I said that to Leo and Jeff, my normal co-host, a couple months back when it first came out and we had Naomi Grossman on. I said, you know, I get a lot of screeners and I get a lot of independent films to watch because I do all the booking for the show. Let's be realistic. Sometimes I can make it through it. Sometimes I can't. I was glued. I literally was glued to this movie. And then I was like, how do I know this guy, Christian? How do I? And I'm thinking, oh, that's right. Tom Riddle. He was kind of a bad guy. I liked him, but now he's an IRS agent, and I don't like him no more.
I liked him more as Voldemort than as the IRS agent.
I don't like IRS agents at all. But then he fell in love with you, and I was like, "Oh, that's
but he's
so
charming as an IRS agent."
And he quit at the end. I mean, bananas. I'm under a lot of stuff.
Wait, Naomi, I want to ask: did the original Vampire Inspiration ever see the movie? Do you know if she's ever seen it or had a response to it?
Oh yeah,
she did, and she loved it.
Amazing.
And she actually she consulted a little bit when I was working on the script to make sure I got all the details right.
Nice.
I loved how like the first dude was talking out in social media and everybody was like, that's not us. Well,
and this is one of the things that I found so immediately funny and endearing about the vampire community is that it's a very small community. I mean, it's actually bigger than you think. It's maybe like 100,000 people worldwide, but in the scheme of things, that's quite small.
Right.
But there's so many like factions and infighting and like of
course there is.
Stas, who plays my ex-husband, the guy that you were saying is on social media, is based on a vampire who shall remain nameless in New York, who's like constantly like sleeping in coffins and having these, and the other vampires are so mad because they think you're making them look absurd. And it's very funny to me that human nature is just like that. Like no matter how, like,
no matter what you're part of,
but there's always that stuff that comes up.
There's
I'm
always that
geek.
person, exactly, in every realm of everything we do that does that.
Everything from Star Wars to like everything.
Podcasts.
Podcasts. Everybody.
Who is it in the three of you? That's what I want to know.
I hold on. Me?
Well, Jeff's not here, and if I blame Leo, he's the producer. He can pull the plug.
I took
sure.
I take 3 years off, and I still get shit.
I just have to say that the movie, the writing was great on it. The story was amazing, but I think what really sold it was the chemistry between you two.
Yeah, you guys really worked it. That was
definitely really, really good on-screen chemistry there.
Yeah,
it really.
Well,
was.
we really enjoy working together. I mean, I talk to Naomi twice a week at the moment because we've been writing for the last few months together. So it's a real
the
pleasure
first
to
thing
collaborate.
we wrote together actually was a pilot for a Bite Me TV series.
Is that the Hammond Castle you guys are writing together?
No, that's Naomi's Alone.
Oh.
That one's mine. But we're working on another film.
Is it something you can share, or is it hush hush right now?
Well, we completed a pilot of a studio requested that we submit a pilot of Bite Me, and Naomi had spent years writing it alone, and it just happened. I think that we had lunch like around the time when that idea was floating around, and sort of got talking about it over lunch. And a couple of days later, Naomi called me up and was like, "Hey, I don't really want to go back into this alone, having spent years doing it alone. Would you would you work on it with me? And so we then, it was right when lockdown started, as it happened. We'd had lunch like a month before, and we spent the first few months of lockdown hammering out like what a series would look like and how the pilot would work.
Nice.
And the new one, we're in very early, it's a thriller, but we're in very early stages of it. So there's not much to say yet, but
I'm excited
it's
for
really
that.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's anything like what you guys did with
I'm a
Bite
fan.
Me, I'm already sold. Like, sign me up.
Going back to watch Imagine I'm Beautiful in a few days on Amazon as soon as the drugs are out of the system.
It's on drugs too. It's a little.
Is it better?
Yeah.
All right. Hell, that's my kind of movie then. Leo's our like sober guy. He's like completely straight edge. He takes Tylenol.
Only if the doctor prescribes it.
Yeah. Only if doctor says it's okay. And then he's still like cutting it in half. He's like, I don't know if I should take all of that.
I'm sorry. I'm dull.
It's okay, Leo. We still love you.
Well, thank you.
Oh, it was funny that when I was getting in the ER, they're like, do you do any drugs or smoke cannabis? I was like, yes. And I had to back up. I was like, no, just the weed. Just the weed.
Just the cannabis part of it.
Well, it is legal in Connecticut here now, so eventually,
it's legal just about everywhere.
No, I know, but I had concerns because I don't want to mess up my job. I'm very happy where I am.
I'm gonna make you special brownies.
Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Keto friendly too.
I'm excited.
So we only have Christian till 7:50, which is about 25 more minutes. So
And you have Naomi forever.
Forever?
He's lying.
Oh.
He's lying.
I was
He's
like,
no.
my closet is very roomy. I don't know how my girlfriend would feel about
Naomi, I do normally record on Wednesdays till about 1 a.m. Eastern, so it's you're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, the network has 40 shows on it.
Yeah, and I do a bunch of shows on Wednesday, so
Right.
So how did you actually get hooked up in this project, Christian? Like, do you guys know each other from like way back? Is this like
No,
a
not
new
at all.
relationship?
Well, we made the movie. I mean, the movie is. When did we make it? In like 2015?
No.
Slightly earlier.
It's 2017.
2017. Okay.
I have that feeling of time too. I'm like, the 90s were last week.
Yeah, who knows? But we didn't know each other before. It just so happened that the role had been written English, and I've lived in New York for the last 15 years. And Naomi reached out to me, and we went and had like a lunch in a. I was assistant directing an off-Broadway play that week, and I like took a long lunch break to go and sit and talk about Bite Me, and I loved the script, so straight away we got on. I assume I was being, it wasn't like an audition, but it was definitely like, is this person someone that Naomi could bear to be in a room with for the next few months?
Yeah.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
Well, so our side of that story is that we desperately wanted Christian. So I didn't reach out to him because he's fancy. So we had to send an offer to his agent.
All right, yes.
And because Christian's fancy, we couldn't audition him, which is a little terrifying for romantic comedy for specifically the reason you brought up, which is that if the main actors don't have chemistry, your movie is toast. It doesn't matter how good it is otherwise. So normally you would do a screen test to sort of figure that out ahead of time, and we couldn't. So they were like, you can have one meeting with Christian. And so it was decided that I had to go and try to like suss out if it would be okay if we would have some kind of, which is a very uncomfortable and hard thing to do covertly.
Oh yeah. That's so interesting. See, I don't get told any of that stuff. I'm just told there's an offer, they want to meet you.
Yeah.
You have a 20-minute lunch.
But it was great. We got on immediately, and it was exciting, and talked about the script, and just went from there, really. And they, there's also this incredible cast, like throughout the movie.
For real?
Yeah.
And the location,
coworker
like the
was
fact that we were like,
hilarious.
oh, she's a genius.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Annie Gordon, amazing.
Yeah, she was hilarious.
And then New York, which is such a character. I mean, it's a low budget movie, and effectively we're like shooting. We're shooting in Central Park. We're shooting all over the city. It really is extraordinary the like lengths to which they were able to go on production. It's really incredible.
Yeah, definitely an amazing job.
So it was all shot in New York?
Yeah.
I have a question about that.
New York City, though.
Yeah.
I
understand.
I've heard that in New York City that there's like one alleyway that like everybody films at due to like restrictions or something like that on a lot of them. Is that true or no?
I don't know if there's. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. I mean, I live in North Brooklyn, and they shoot in all the streets around here because all the studios are around here. So, switch on the television for one of those procedurals, and it's probably, if it's shot in New York, it's probably happening in the 4 or 5 blocks east of here. But I don't know. That's an interesting question. Maybe if you're doing car things in Manhattan, if you actually want to drive down a street, that might be true. But we were mostly on the sidewalk and in buildings, except for running through Central Park, which also happened to be the day that we shot in Central Park. There was 2 days, and the first one was also the day of the solar eclipse. Nice. So it just so happened that it was the busiest day you could possibly imagine.
Oh man!
The park was, not only did we lose the lights twice that day, they also the park was full of people wandering around with glasses on, staring at the sky.
Right. And very confused why we were all dressed as vampires.
Yeah.
People kept coming up to us and being like, is this for the eclipse? And we were like, just please keep walking. Please keep walking.
Do you not see the cameras?
If only it had been written into the story, it would have been the best production value you could possibly imagine.
No, I know. But the funny thing about it is that it was like a Tuesday. So the deal of shooting in Central Park is that it's actually quite cheap to get a permit, but you're not allowed to block it off or, sort of interrupt anybody else's experience of the park. So we picked a Tuesday or whatever it was because we thought, well, there won't be anybody in Central Park. And we picked the wrong Tuesday. And so it was a bit of a madhouse, but we got through it.
You know what? Last time I was in New York, it was a long time ago, but we were in Manhattan, and you figure, the way people are dressed there, nobody would really question you walking around like a vampire.
Well, this is so funny. So I'm quite different than my character, Sarah, very energetically. She's one of the most different characters I've ever played. So I needed some time to sort of like get into her body. And they dyed my hair blue a month ahead of time. So that it would look a little washed out, and we were doing tests of the temp tattoo. So I had that for about a month before. And so I started putting on her clothes and just walking around New York as her, because I really wanted to like feel what it felt like to look like her and interact with other people. And it was very interesting by neighborhood what happened. So like the Lower East Side, nobody looked twice, but a lot of the rest of Manhattan, people were really mean to me and like, and actually physically aggressive, and would like come up and say like, oh, you're so pretty, how could you do that to your face? And like,
oh my gosh,
like actually physically come at me.
People are weird.
People are so in New York. So anyway, it was very helpful for the movie because I quickly had to develop that sort of 100-yard stare that she has.
I am just going to say, you don't get that in Boston.
No.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah. I think Boston's known for their sports fans, and it's not for good things.
Hey. I don't sport ball.
So, anyways, you guys have gotten like a ton of awards for this. How has that felt? Like on the indie run, you got like, right? I don't know. There's like, I counted at least like 4 Best Pictures, 3 Best Actresses. I have no idea what the Dawn Award is. If anybody, I'm like, were they in the Mafia? I'm like, the Dawn?
That is what it's for.
Yes.
Oh,
Correct.
the Mafia gave you an award? That's
No,
amazing.
We're not in charge of it, actually. So be careful what you say next.
Okay. Mum's the word. All right. So being number 8 on the Oscar World Top 10, like, that's pretty friggin' impressive. Like, that's out of, like, I don't even know how many people submitted to, but like, that's impressive stuff. This movie has done really well. You guys should be really proud.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I mean, also that it speaks to Naomi's been like tirelessly has been like really advocating for the movie since it came out. I mean, one of the hard things at this moment in time for a small indie movie is that it doesn't like it doesn't matter the quality of the movie. It doesn't like find its audience by some magic alchemy. It speaks to actually a sort of devoted amount of effort that was years long that Naomi and the other producers put into like getting this movie out there and making sure that people were responding to it, because it's not an easy landscape at all for films that aren't being championed by studios.
Right. So on that note, real quick, Leo.
Yeah. Hold on, let me find the right buttons here.
We'll do a quick commercial break.
Yeah. So I want to remind everybody we're talking about the movie Bite Me, which is out on VOD and physical media right now. So definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And we need to pay the bills here, so we're going to play a couple ads, and we'll go with this one first.
Thank you for supporting Actors and Others for Animals. We started a long, long time ago. So when you find an organization like Actors and Others for Animals, it sort of unites all of those of us who want to pay back something for all the joy we get out of animals. Please keep up the good work. Believe me, it's deeply appreciated.
fucked up nightmare.
And check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us for all the information there. And Ben, what's this you sent me?
Well, I got an appearance this Sunday for MassCan for medical cannabis for the whole family. Come on out, 12 to 4, Stony Creek Farms. Okay, you can take that off the screen.
MassCan?
Yeah.
For the whole family?
Medical
Fun for the whole family.
Hey, you know, because of what we do, we're in so many industries, from cannabis to entertainment to Comic-Con. We just, if somebody calls and says, hey, we would like to have you here.
Oh, I know.
You go and you promote. So
I know.
It just, you know, it was a quick snip. That's where I'll be Sunday. But back to
other side.
Camera shit.
That's
These two
right.
amazing guests we have, because we have literally 10 minutes left with Christian and maybe 15 with Naomi, folks. So, you know, they're very, very busy people.
Well, let's kick it off with Christian. So after Bite Me, what's some of the other stuff you got going on?
Oh my God. I'm trying. That's like the last 5 years. I don't. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. I'm going to be up in Boston next week doing a reading of Measure for Measure over at CSC for to raise money for their fundraiser for. They do Commonwealth Shakespeare. They do Shakespeare on the Park in the summers, like this extraordinary like free Shakespeare for the community. And so I'm up there next week. I'm excited to be in Boston. And we've been writing, as I was saying, I've been writing a lot for the last couple of years because I mean, during pandemic, it's been like other than filming a few things here and there, it's been a pretty quiet time. So I've mostly been doing pandemic-y things for the last couple of years. I've been baking a lot of bread. I'm in fact doing that right now. It's like sitting in the next room, bubbling away. Yeah.
Just real quick, you know, since you were in Harry Potter, were you invited to that game show, that Harry Potter game show?
I wasn't. What's that about? Can you complain in some way?
It's I think it's on HBO, and it's a Harry Potter game show.
Yes. No, I know what it is. I'm saying I wasn't invited. So
you weren't invited. Oh,
I don't know who should be in trouble, but someone should.
Yeah, totally, because they're bringing everybody into that. So it's
except for you, Christian.
Except
everybody
but
you.
They're afraid they might get audited.
This is true.
Naomi, like the Ernest Hemingway house, that has I'm like really interested in all that. What is going on there? Like, I know you're writing a book, or is it a book? I believe.
Wrote
Actually, one more thing, Christian. Do you have Mellotron, and do you want to share him with me?
I don't.
I have. Yeah.
Naomi.
Is he nearby?
No, he's in the other room.
Is there a story behind Mellotron?
Well, yes, there is a story. So, my husband and I went to a friend's house many years ago, and he saw a Mellotron, and I swear he fell in love with this. I mean, he's not a man who has stuffed animals, but he's this robot and completely fell in love with him. And it just so happened that my friend had used to make them. Used to not manufacture, because she did them herself, but she made a limited run of them, and she had one left in the attic. So for his birthday that year, I bought it for him, and then I was writing at home a lot alone with Mellotron, and he just sort of made his way into the movie. And
Who named him?
What?
Who named him?
He was named. That was like the name of the. He was always named that.
Okay, but he's a self-chosen name.
Yes, it's his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a Cabbage Patch doll. It comes with a name already and like birth date and stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
Not all of us had Cabbage Patch dolls, Leo.
Oh, I didn't. I just remember, the craze. An old fart.
I'm just looking over his shoulder at the 37 Baby Yodas on the shelf.
Stop it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you do have a lot of Baby Yodas. Oh, and
Yeah.
is that an original at or?
Yeah.
All right, enough dorking out. We
Oh,
can
sorry.
dork out anytime.
My wife's cut me off on Baby Yodas. I can't.
You were going to ask Christian a question, and then you
Oh, I wanted to know.
No, you were going to ask
Mellotron,
Naomi a
the
question.
Ernie
you were going to ask
Hemingway
Naomi a question,
Ernest.
and then you just left her hanging.
Well, Mellotron. One of my notes caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Mellotron. I don't want to forget about him,"
my notes
because I
caught
thought
my eye
Christian
too,
owned
but-
him, and I didn't want him to get away, and I was thinking I could get him off of him, but now I hear
right.
that he
I'm
has
gonna spin this
sentimental
back.
value.
I'm going to
and
spin
I
it back.
can't touch him.
So, Naomi, you recently released a book, correct?
Yes.
Called "The Wrong Kind of Woman: Inside Our Revolution to Dismantle the Gods of Hollywood." Wow, I said it all because I read it off the paper, folks. I'm not that good. Could you just give us a quick brief about that as
Sure.
well?
Yep. Well, women have been systematically excluded from Hollywood, from writing, directing, producing, editing, all the
Oh, and I watched your TED Talk too.
very similar lines.
Yep.
Women have been excluded from Hollywood basically since the beginning, not right at the beginning, but ever since then. And still to this day to a pretty shocking degree, given that we're 51% of the population and we're still working to crack 12% in any behind the camera job. So the book is about that, how that happens, because that seems insane, right? Women are graduating at 50% of film school students. So when you just tell people that, they tend to write stories for themselves like, well, maybe they just don't want to be directors or like, whatever. So, but no, it's actually sexism.
Well,
and so the book is about how that happens and also why it's a problem culturally, that we are only seeing the perspective of one relatively small subset of people, and that movies are the things that shape our whole world. And so the fact that that's only coming from one vantage point is a bit of a problem. And then it's about what we could do about it to change that and are doing about it.
Very cool. Very cool. And you can find the link to find that book in the show notes.
Oh,
up above or down below.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted Leo to do his job, but he's sleeping over there. So definitely go check out the links, buy the book, buy the movie. Maybe
I would say if like to get a good check out Naomi's TED Talk. It was really good and like a lot of information to like devour and stuff.
Very cool. So, but now that we know Naomi has wrote a book, Christian
you
also,
read books.
He reads books.
Read to me.
I do read books. It's true.
He also wrote lyrics and a book for a rock musical called The Fallen back in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Yes, I know. Look, he cringed.
Oh.
I was a teenager.
I don't
Can't hold that against me. Have I never told you about this?
Well, now you can tell us all, and then you have to go. So that's why.
It's like I don't even know
On
where
your
to
way
begin.
out, let's be embarrassing.
So I was actually like when I was a kid, I was at National Youth Music Theatre in the UK, which is an amazing proving ground for a huge number of performers in the UK. People like Jude Law came out of there, and Jamie Bell came out of there, and Johnny Miller, and it's an amazing place. And I a friend of mine there, Leon Paris, he and I together when we were like 16 and 17 wrote. We spent like a couple of years writing this musical together, which is pretty dark, is long. It has some great songs in it, but I didn't really know how to dramaturg anything at the time. I was like, I just figured there's some really it's about two brothers who fall in love with the same girl, and there's murder, and there's like a circus, and the circus is demonic, and it's really like it was sort of based on Titus Andronicus. It was like it was ambitious, I'll say that, and it was not. Its reception was not as strong as its ambition, but I'm glad I wrote it, and I'm glad we didn't have social media so that no one can dredge up bits of it today.
Damn.
Sounds amazing.
I
mean, it made me the person I am, but it was also, you know, it's the past. It was when I was so young.
But that's what we're good at. We're good at digging up the past.
But you know, in the last few years, I've actually was thinking about it the other day, because in the last few years I've been writing both alone and with Naomi and with another friend of mine, and it's really just bringing back how much I enjoyed doing that as a teenager. It's like it's such a if I don't have a creative outlet, I feel like I lose my mind. So
right.
I have to like find somewhere to put all that like craziness.
Right. Excellent.
On that subject, you know, with the pandemic and going on, how rough was it for you guys? Like, you know, we all had a lot of ups and downs throughout the past 2-3 years now, and like how did you guys keep yourselves like from going crazy? Like you're saying, Christian, without having an artistic outlet or something like that. Like, I mean, doing the writing and stuff is great, but like you're still not like having that same energy going out, I would feel, as in acting and such.
It's certainly different, but writing was probably the thing that's kept me most. Writing and weirdly, I got it really into cooking. So honestly, baking bread. I know I made the joke earlier, but baking has been a huge part of the last year for me. What about you, Naomi?
I am going to interrupt real quick. It is 7:50.
Yep, I was just about to say
that. But before I'll jump off. I want to hear Naomi's answer first.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No, I know. No, and then I will leave.
Well, you don't have to leave. I'm just saying. I know you have, you know.
Look, I know you want to get rid of me, but I want to hear what Naomi has to say about how she survived the last couple of years.
Yeah.
No, I would give the same answer, and I mean, writing together has been part of that too, because I think writing alone is good sometimes, and then sometimes in a pandemic, that's also not enough.
Yeah, I would say right now is probably not the best time to write alone, but like I've been watching my kids, and like it's rough, man. Like that's the worst part about it, when they were stuck inside from school even for a year. Like you would think, it was my son's graduating year, you would think he would be like ecstatic, oh, I ain't got to go to school, and he was just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I have to jump off, but I'm just gonna thank you so much for supporting the movie, and thanks for having us here today.
Thank you, Christian. So before you go, where do you like people interacting with you? And if there's any chance, if you could do a shout out to my wife, Megan.
Wait, who says I like people interacting with me?
I guess we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I would prefer that people just avoid me at all costs. Instagram is usually it's the only place. I mean, Instagram and Twitter are the only places where I really pay attention. So,
okay,
guess there, or just yell at me if you see me in the street.
And any chance you could do a shout out to my wife, Megan? She's a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, that costs $57.95.
Hey, Megan. Thanks for being a fan. And thanks for loaning us your husband this evening.
Cool beans. Thank you.
Leo, you can send that check to Cameo.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Do you have a Cameo?
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Christian.
I don't. No, I don't have a Cameo. No. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care. So,
wait, one more thing.
Come back. No. So anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to go into the Hemingway stuff before.
I know you were, so that's why I'm. Like, go ahead, because everybody steals my questions. That's why I literally say I sit here and look pretty all night.
Well,
go ahead.
You're doing good. You're doing really good tonight.
Do you?
Last week was kind of an off week, but tonight you look good.
Yeah.
All
right. Last week I was still recovering from my hospital stay.
That's right.
So go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, I just want to know, like, how did you get involved in all that? Like, you're staying at the house and learning from the caretakers about the whole like history and such.
Yeah. So Ernest Hemingway lived many places, but the place he lived, and actually the place he died, was in Ketchum, Idaho.
Yep.
And so his final home is there, and every other home that he ever had has been turned into a museum because he's Hemingway. But his wife and family actually asked that his final house not be turned into a museum because it was kind of the place he went to get away from people. And so the community library, which owns it here, has turned what used to be the garage into a writer's apartment. But the rest of the house is preserved as it was when the Hemingways lived there. And it's actually the house that Hemingway killed himself in.
Wow.
Yep. And so I was the first writer in residence there after they started this program. So my husband and I went and lived there for 3 months in the fall of 2019. And it was wild. I mean, we were really the first people to live there since the Hemingways. And we had some pretty crazy experiences. I'm actually writing a second book, which is about my experience with Hemingway in that house.
Wow, that is so cool.
Are we talking supernatural experiences?
You have to wait and read the book. That's what that look was.
Making me read books.
Well,
maybe it can be an audiobook and Christian can read it.
Oh, that would be great.
Maybe Christian can just do it. We can, you guys can collaborate and do an audio book just for Jar Jar.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Leo?
No. I was gonna ask the same question. Like, what was there any paranormal items that happened there? But
she already gave the look.
I mean,
read the book. It's like Dianetics. If you want to know the answers, get the book.
That's right.
Hey,
remember that commercial?
We already mentioned Scientology earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And if you want to really know the answer, you have to pay me like $10,000 increments. And I'll slowly seed out the information, right?
Oh, nice.
Or you can just wait and buy the book for $29.99.
Oh, I thought Leo had that in the budget. No. No.
But we really came here tonight to promote Bite Me, and what a wonderful job you guys all did on this film.
Thank you.
If I can't urge enough to our viewers, our listeners, check the show notes, go buy this movie, watch it. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I'm kind of curious if maybe there's a Bite Me 2 in the works in the future.
Well,
sounds like a series.
Yeah, so many people asked us that question.
I figured.
We started thinking about it, and a network actually approached us and said,
I like it. I think the idea would be great. It would work well.
Yeah, and it's nice because in the series you get to follow. There are so many great little characters that we don't get to spend too much time
little
with.
Side stories within it. Yeah.
But in the span of a show, we get to go down each of those characters' paths.
Yeah, I would love to spend a day with Pam throughout the office and at home and be like, what is going on with this lady? She is the little church group, and then she was great.
That. I want to know, what's it like being a vampire and a Muslim at the same time?
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Right. We can't give too much. Can't give too much away. But
no, the characters, everything was like really interesting, and like it was very much. I want to know more about each character, even the ex-husband and his whole like little clique. I'm just like,
and maybe the IRS agent. I mean.
He can come too.
Well, I'd like to know how he got to that job, because it did not seem like that was where he wanted to be in life. He was just like,
well, that's the story behind the story.
Well, I know, but
it seemed like somebody got him the job. That was like the underlying.
Oh,
concept.
Maybe it was the mom's friend, the boss there. That was great. It really was.
It was
everything
was
connected.
amazing.
It was very good. I didn't have any questions at the end. I wasn't didn't feel like there was any plot holes or anything that was left out.
Right.
Well, it's also, we watch a lot of indie movies, and some of them you're watching you're watching the timer. It's like, how much more do I have? But this one here, I loved it all the way to the end. It's just,
it's kind of like our show.
Movie.
Yeah, our shows like that sometimes. I look at it, I go, 17 minutes in, really? That's it? Shit. What am I going to do for the next
I say that every week. Holy shit, 10 minutes?
Hey. But
I can only take so much of Ben.
Speaking a little bit more about
time for my nerd stuff. Oh, okay.
Time out. You're in timeout. Put the mic up. You can be a geek in a second. I do want to say that you started a podcast documentary about Bite Me, called Fearful Lists, Filmmaking from the Edge. Is that correct?
Sort of. So there was that podcast that I was doing for a while that was sort of about like us raising the money for the film and sort of the early stages. But then we actually first took the film on tour when it was done. So it just recently had its digital release, but in the summer of 2019, we took it on what we called the Joyful Vampire Tour of America.
Okay.
And so we literally moved into an RV for 3 months and drove 13,001 miles around the country and did 51 screenings in 40 cities in 90 days. And we were in costume. We invited the audience to come in costume. After every screening, there was a joyful vampire ball. And so we made a documentary. A documentary filmmaker lived with us in the RV and made a documentary series called The Joyful Vampire Tour of America about that whole experience. And it's on YouTube. It's amazing. She did such a good job.
Wow. Well, definitely, I'll have to check that out. I must have missed that somewhere.
I have to say,
you know what? Show notes are useless. I quit.
you must be living your best life, because it sounds like everything you do, it sounds like a lot of work, but you look and sound so happy about doing it. Like traveling around in an RV for 3 months, doing a podcast tour. Some of us have done crap like that. We're just like, ugh. And then like, you're traveling to Ernest Hemingway's house for 3 months to live that. You're living in a garage, really. Like,
yeah,
like it must be fantastic. Like
it is. Yeah.
Yes,
I've been very, very lucky.
Well, I wouldn't say you've been lucky. You worked
she
hard
worked
for that.
hard.
And I've worked my brains out.
You worked really hard. I mean,
yeah.
Being in the independent industry, first comics and now filming, it's a shitload of work.
It's brutal.
For very, very little reward sometimes.
Little. Yeah. Zero most of the time.
And I can see what you've created with Bite Me just growing and growing and growing. You found that niche with this film, and I think that I would look forward to a series. I would, if I had to subscribe, I probably would. You know what I mean? It's just that's how entertained I was by the film, and I can't say that about a lot of films.
Yeah,
especially in the independent side of things. Go ahead, Leo.
No, I was just going to say, and then I corrected myself, thinking it does have some horror elements, with vampirism, but it's not really horror. But, just thinking of like a horror rom-com genre, that's a whole niche in itself.
And I don't think I've ever seen anybody use real vampires in any stories or anything anywhere.
I think we're the first.
Yeah, I've known of real vampires, but
we met quite a lot of them. Fewer actually before we made the film, but a lot. Well, on tour we actually met a ton of them. Came out to screenings. The King and Queen of the Austin Vampires came to that screening, which was very exciting. And they loved it, and they were saying how excited they were that the movie exists, because obviously it's like people judge their lifestyle and it's very hard. And now that they're like, now we can just be like, watch this movie and then you'll understand. So
really, it really would be a good way to be like, yeah, you may think I'm weird, but just because I'm weird doesn't mean I'm a bad person or anything like that.
Everybody's weird in their own way.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of the message of the movie is like, we're all just giant weirdos trying to get through the day,
Right. Exactly.
Really?
Well, like I say, we're all a dork in our own way,
Oh, that's where I was going. Do you collect anything, Naomi, or are you just like a normal human being?
Well, I've had to move 8 times in the last 3.5 years, so collecting has not been a big thing. However, I am a giant Harry Potter nerd myself. That's probably my biggest nerd area. So, it was very exciting.
Hence Christian Coulson.
Understandable.
She's like, I am definitely writing myself into all these things.
Oh, yeah. Did the husband get jealous now?
You stole my
Did my husband get jealous?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm an actress, so he's had to put up with a lot of it.
Oh, those were nice kisses. I'm just like, oh.
I was gonna say, was he upset that Mellotron came home smelling like Christian?
He was more upset about Mellotron for sure.
Yeah, Mellotron was out hoeing around.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's
been
good.
a long day, really long day.
So speaking of, we are coming up on that time. We don't want to keep Naomi too long. She is very busy and took time out to
for real,
hang out with us.
Do
for
you
whatever
want to talk
reason.
about Hammond Castle, or is that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. I'd like to hear about that.
Yeah, so that's my next film, and we're shooting it a year from now in Massachusetts, actually.
Oh, hey, Western Mass, Eastern Mass?
Gloucester,
Southern?
on the coast.
Oh, Gloucester. She's
very
going
cool,
your way.
Very cool. I have
Yeah.
Gloucester is an hour and 20 minutes from me, but I have family in Rockport. So
Okay.
maybe if you reach out and I could just kind of do a quick little cameo. I might be able to hook you guys up with some lobster dinners.
I don't
know. We'll see.
I have 3 acres of land here in Westfield. It's really cool when it gets foggy and stuff. If you ever want to shoot here, more than welcome.
Be careful what you offer.
Oh no! I've got a Quonset. You guys can store I've got a lot of land. So
we, as a collective in the network, if something's offered, it's a true offer.
Oh yeah,
It's a
yeah,
true
absolutely.
offer, you know?
Even the jokes are true offers. Whereas that's I'm like, hey, you want to come play D&D? It sounds like a joke, but if you said yes, we'd be playing D&D
as vampires.
Yes.
Jeremy, you play D&D?
No.
Oh.
I want to so bad. I actually want to start a podcast about it.
Well, we were actually talking about that. So
I think it would be so great.
They just go right off the tracks. Both of them. Right off the tracks.
I'm a nerd. I can't help myself.
Dork.
Shiny things.
We're branding here. We're branding.
I'm a dork.
It's Dork.
That's right. Oh, speaking of, we never even mentioned. Are we streaming live on Dead Dork Radio tonight?
No, crap.
You didn't push the button.
I didn't push the button.
Wrong button.
You are fired, man.
Hey, it's been a rough month.
So,
I'm sorry.
what is Hammond Castle about? We know we're going to Boston. We went way off the tracks.
Right? I'm saying.
Or Gloucester.
It's a magical realism film about a 7-month pregnant failed actress who gets locked overnight in a castle full of famous ghosts.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That sounds really cool. Right? Wow. I need
that's my girlfriend Facebook user. She was asking what we're putting in the Quonset. It's just some cameras and stuff, babe.
He just invited the whole crew.
Yeah.
For this movie to your house.
We've had food trucks in there, boats. It's got plenty of room.
She said okay.
Yeah.
Great. Put us on the calendar for March.
Okay, cool.
Any last questions, comments?
I'm pretty much at the end of my list of stuff.
Okay, just checking the chat. I mean, there's a lot of people watching, but not many people jumped in the chat.
Oh,
They must be afraid of vampires.
Have you thought of maybe finding shorter names for your books? They are mouthfuls.
That's why I had to read it.
I'm
I got a lot to say.
No, it gives you exactly what you're. But like even the next one, the Hemingway book, Big Papa Little Girl, what I learned about whiteness, womanhood, and writing from the ghost of Ernest Hemingway. I'm just like, whew, okay, I need a break now. But no, I can't wait to check them out. Both of them. It's you sold me with Bite Me, and now I'm gonna go and check out everything.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Well,
thank you so much for having me on and promoting the film, and Christian. And
that's what we love to do. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I think, well, maybe it was backstage when we had Naomi Grossman on. It was to promote Bite Me, but usually we do one member. We promote what they're doing for the first half of the show, and then the second half is a kind of a little bit of like what we did tonight. We spun it to, besides being an actor or actress, what else are you involved with? And it really does give the viewer or the listener later on a deeper connection with said actor, actress, musician, or whoever it may be at the time. Because you'd be amazed at what some other people do, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
We've found out so many interesting things about so many great people outside of trying to promote what they were actually there to promote.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it works, and sometimes, like I said, it's like 17 minutes in, really. You know? So, Leo, on that note.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got about 40 shows on a network. There's a ton of awesome people doing a ton of awesome stuff. Matter of fact, in about an hour, we're going to be going live again. We're going to be talking about toys that we grew up on. And, you know, obviously, we'll probably talk about the slap heard around the world. And, you know, Moon Knight. Oh, my God. So, anyway, Naomi.
Is the second episode out of Moon Knight?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I got to watch that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Watch it before we go live. If you want to join us. Naomi, where do you like people interacting with you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also my website, NaomiMcDougall-Jones.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, and I send out a lot of content.
I did.
Thanks.
And yeah, you can find those in the show notes as well. And check out Bite Me and Jeremy.
Right now, just come over to Facebook and check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction, and join one of the largest comic book buy, sell, trade, and auction pages on the Facebooks.
Woohoo!
Woo!
On the Book of Faces.
Yes.
So as far as us, stilltoking.com, you can go there. You can find out everything that we're involved with, from this amazing show to our film series to all our amazing guests. You can watch any of the past shows there. The comic books, merch line, you know, the whole brand basically is there. But we definitely want to say thank you to Christian, who has already left, and Naomi for taking time out tonight to come share their story about Bite Me. And yeah, go watch the movie, folks. I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed at all. And you can find that in the show notes up above or down below or wherever Leo puts them after the fact. To all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do every day so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Adios.